And speaking of the Constitution, right now there's members of the Wyoming State Legislature that are seeking to pass several state joint resolutions, SJ1 and SJ5, both of which would apply to Congress to call a convention to propose amendments to the Constitution, also known as an Article 5 Federal Constitutional Convention. What are your thoughts on amending the Constitution through an open convention, such as the one that's being proposed by the state of Wyoming and in other states?
It's too dangerous. It's terribly, terribly dangerous. I don't think we could control it. And my view is, how about if we enforce the provisions of the Constitution that we already have, and then we'll talk about what changes need to be made. And the big one they always talk about is a balanced budget amendment. We have the ability to balance our budget. We don't need to have a constitutional provision requiring that. And even in states that do have a constitutional provision requiring a balanced budget, they find ways to circumvent it. The state of California right now has a hole in their budget that's almost $100 billion. And after this disaster that they recently created, that's probably going to triple, if not quadruple. Even the state of Wyoming, we have a balanced budget requirement, but there are ways and mechanisms that they kind of just, shove money around to try to avoid that. Here's the thing. Let's enforce the provisions of the Constitution right now, elect people who are willing to do that and make the difficult decisions to do that, and even take power out of Washington, D.C. and return it to the states where it belongs. And then we can talk about other things that we could potentially fix constitutionally. I think that all you have to do is you have to look at those states that their constitution is very malleable, and what you'll find is that they are more unstable than their surrounding states. I often think of the state of Colorado. That state, they will amend their constitution almost at a whim, and as a result, their constitution is way over bloated, way too big, way too many things that it's trying to do, and it really is not the foundational document that kind of gives you your structure of government, which is what a constitution is supposed to be. I was recently asked why I had such reverence for our Constitution, why I talk about it as much as I do. And I said, because this is the longest living Constitution in world history. And as a result, it has provided a certain amount of stability and certainty that no other country has. There are countries that in the last 100 years, they may have had 7 or 8 different constitutions, and they're totally destabilized as a result. In the United States, we know that we know how our banking system is going to work because we have a constitution that provides certainty in the banking sector. That way you can get capital to various organizations and businesses and ranches and gas stations and things like that. You don't have that in Cameroon. We have the brilliance of our Constitution is in its stability and certainty. And we need to be very, very, very careful of opening that up, especially when you have people who want to take away our Second Amendment rights, when you have people who want to take away our Fourth Amendment rights. And right now you have one heck of a lot of people who want to take away our First Amendment rights. When you have people in positions of power who look at our Bill of Rights as a hindrance rather than a thing of beauty, what you recognize is you can never let anybody like them anywhere close to a constitutional convention. Yet I would assure you it would be the Adam Schiffs of the world that would be right there front and center, making sure that he was to be the most powerful person in the room. And I just think it would be bad.
Absolutely. A constitutional convention certainly risks the longevity of our Constitution as our nation's founding document and the key ingredient to a limited government which preserves our God-given rights. Congressman Hageman, thank you so much for your time. We know that you have other interviews to get to later today, so thank you again. We hope to have you on again in the future, and may the Lord continue to bless you and all the work that you're doing there in Congress to protect all of our rights. So take care and God bless.
Thank you. God bless you as well.
Hello, everybody. Andrew Muller here.